Once there was a young girl named Julia living with her parents and her pet upon a cherry orchard house. Her parents are a bit old-fashioned and they always complain about her nose ring, the music she listens to, and the length of her skirt. But she hates it when her parents complain about her behavior. She is so done with them and plans to run away from her home to live a much independent life all by herself. So one night, she runs away to a place which is known for drugs and violence and all kinds of immoral activities. She concludes that is probably the last place her parents will look for her. The very next day, she meets a man who offers her everything. She feels better than she's ever felt before. She was right all along, and she decides her parents were keeping her away from all the fun. The good life continues for a month, 2 months, a year. The man she met introduces her to prostitution, and she earns more than what she wants. Her life seems to be amazing, and she hardly thinks about her mom and her dad. She feels like the woman of the world. Her parents, on the other hand, have done their best to find her. After a year, the man she claims to be her boss turns mean on her and kicks her out. And in the blink of an eye, she's out there on the streets without a penny to her name. When winter blows at night, she finds herself sleeping on a wooden bench outside a store without any guard at all. All of a sudden, everything about her life looks different. She no longer feels like a woman of the world. She feels like a little girl lost in a cold and frightening city. Her pockets are empty and she is hungry. She remembers a single image, an afternoon at her house when 1,000,000 cherry trees bloom at once, with her golden retriever dashing through the rows chasing tennis ball. And that image fills her mind. Then she says to herself, "God, why did I leave?" And a gush of pain stabs at her heart. She says, "My dog back home eats better than I do now." She's sobbing, and she knows in a flash that more than anything else in the world, she wants to go home. She makes up her mind and calls her parents. 3 straight phone calls, none of them were answered. So she leaves a message the 3rd time, saying, "Dad, Mom, it's me. I was wondering about coming home. I'm catching a bus up your way. I'll get there about midnight tomorrow. And if you're not there, I'll just stay on the bus until it hits the last stop." Then she boards a bus to her city. And on the way home, she realizes the flaws in her plan. She's skeptical about going home. She's anxious and doubts whether her parents would accept her back. She prepares a speech for her father, apologizing and asking him for forgiveness. And as she writes these lines, her throat tightens and she cries. The bus finally reaches her city, and she has 15 more minutes to decide her life. She checks on herself and looks at the tobacco stains on her fingertips and wonders if her parents will notice. When she finally steps out of the bus, there's a group of 40 brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmother and great-grandmother. They're all wearing goofy party hats and blowing noisemakers. She sees a banner that reads, "Welcome home." And out of the crowd breaks her dad, and Julia, with tears in her eyes, begins the memorized speech. "Dad, I'm sorry. I know." And just when she said this, he interrupts her and says, "Shh, child, we've got no time for that. No time for apologies. You'll be late for the party. A banquet is waiting for you at home." Julia's dad did not care about what she did to them. The fact that she came back made him so happy. He was a lovesick father waiting for his daughter to come back. Strangely, rediscovery may strike a deeper chord than discovery. To lose and then find is of greater happiness. All of us are children of God, and we might not always be on track with God, because there are enough distractions out there that will lead us off track. At one point, all of us have been like Julia. When we get what we want, we forget God, and we remember Him only when we are in deficit again. Because it is to the prodigals that the memory of their father's house comes back. If Julia had lived economically, she would never have thought of returning home. And in one way, losing everything we have is a good sign, because that's when we realize where we belong. We realize what we need more than what we just want. Our God is a God of second chances, fresh starts, and new beginnings. Have you gone back to your Father yet? He's a lovesick Father waiting for His children to come back to embrace them. Thank you for watching.